Hi, my name is Montgomery and I'd like to show you the Creative Grid Quick Trim Ruler. The ruler was designed so that you can trim your pieces before you sew. It will save you time and make you more accurate. The magic that's built into the ruler are the two 45-degree angle lines that cross right at the 1/4 inch line on the ruler. The most common method for making a flying geese would be to take your rectangle of fabric, put your square of fabric on the corner, line it up, and then you would draw lines from corner to corner on each one of your square fabrics. You would then go to your sewing machine, sew, return to your cutting mat, and trim. By using the quick trim ruler, I can pre-trim all of the pieces before I go to my sewing machine. The 45-degree angle lines that are pre-printed on the ruler actually will line up with the side of the square and across the top of the rectangle. You'll notice that there's also a black dotted line on the ruler so that when it's lined up correctly, that dotted line will go from this point to this point. I can now take my rotary cutter and trim the edge of the triangle, and I've pre-trimmed my sections. Now I can go to my sewing machine and use the exact same seam allowance that I've always used for every other seam in my quilt. Naturally, once you've done that, you're going to press it open, and you'll see that your dog ears have already been removed. You would then take your second square, place it on the rectangle, and I like to turn mine vertical at that point so that I can then use the same lines, and one line will go along the edge of my square, and the notch that's created right here by where the lines intersect will then fit right into the corner. Once again, that black dotted line will go diagonal, and that's going to be my stitching line, so I can take the rotary cutter and trim the piece. I'm then ready to go to my sewing machine and sew, so I never have to draw a line again. This will be my finished flying geese.
Go ahead.
In addition to just being able to make a traditional flying geese, the quick trim ruler will also allow you to insert a triangle between two pieces of fabric and eliminate the center seam at the same time. In the most common method of doing this, what you would normally do is take your rectangle and clip the corner so that you had a piece of glue added here, and do the same thing on the opposite direction on this one. Then you would seam the two of them together. The third seam that happens here creates a considerable amount of bulk in that area. So what we're going to do instead is pre-trim our pieces using the same 45-degree angle lines that are printed on the ruler. So what I would do is take my ruler, align one of the 45-degree lines with the side of the rectangle, and then insert the corner into the little notch that's created by where they meet. Pre-trim this angle like this so that I have a pre-trimmed piece. Now, when I would want to sew them together, put them right sides together, and you'll see that when we line them up, there's no doubt about where they would line up. They're notched and they fit together perfectly. Your sewing machine needle will go in right here, and it will come out right here, just as it has on this piece, so that when you press them open, they're perfectly straight and aligned. Now, the next step is to add the other half of the rectangle. So I like to work vertically. I would take my piece like this, take the ruler, and line it up so that I have the 45-degree line along the edge and the corner of my piece right in the notch, and trim. Once I have that piece trimmed, it's going to look like this. I'm now ready to add my second rectangle, and once again there's no doubt about where it gets positioned because it goes right in that notch right there. Line it up and stitch from here to here. When this piece is opened up, you'll have your two rectangles with the triangle inserted in between, and you've eliminated your center seam.
All right, go ahead.
In addition to being able to use it for flying geese and inserting triangles, our favorite part of the new ruler is to be able to trim your binding strips so that you can stitch them together on a 45-degree angle. Whatever width binding strip you would like to have, it's straight of grain, and yours would obviously be longer than this. But the first thing you want to do is remove your ends so that you have a nice square end and you've removed your salvage. The nice thing about the Creative Grid ruler is it always has both a black and a white line, so whichever one you can see easier, you line up against the edge. And I'm going to trim the top so that we have a perfectly square end. Now I'm going to turn my ruler and I'm going to use the lines that cross right here at the 45-degree line. And no matter what, the lines are on both sides of the ruler, so no matter how you pick up your ruler, the lines are right there ready to use when you need them. I'm going to line it so that the vertical line is along the edge of my piece right here, and then trim the corner. Now, my binding pieces get stitched together on a 45-degree angle. And normally when you do that, you line one up and put another one on top of it, and you try and find the diagonal so that it'll line up appropriately. By pre-trimming my pieces, all I have to do is take the two pieces, line them up next to each other, and as you can see, they're notched, so there's no doubt about how they line up, where my angle is. My needle will go in right here and come out right here, and when I press these, stitch and press them, they're going to be perfectly straight each and every time.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. The Creative Grid Quick Trim Ruler, in addition to clipping your corners before you sew, was also designed to draw circles. So what we've done is drilled holes down the center of the ruler in every inch. At the one end you'll have 1.5 inch and at the 1/4 inch, so that you can draw circles up to 22 inches. Creative Grid is known for their non-slip surface, and on the back of the ruler you'll see that this ruler has additional non-slip on it. So in order to draw circles, we want to be able to spin the ruler, so we're going to work with the ruler upside down. What I've done is I've decided I need a circle that's 10 inches, so I've marked a dot in the center of my fabric, and what I'm going to do is lay the ruler down, and I'll take any one of the holes in the ruler, position it over my circle, and then I use a standard push pin. Put the push pin in the center, and I use my regular cutting mat when I do this. So in order to draw a 10-inch circle, I want to count 5 spaces away, so 5 inches away, and put my pencil in, and then the ruler will rotate and I can draw a circle. And I can draw a circle up to 22 inches with using the ruler.
All of the Creative Grid rulers shown all come with detailed, step-by-step illustrated instructions.